Right, so I'm up to this one, and I'll start with something out of this one. It was at this moment that the Mega Drive became a real contender. Sonic wasn't trying to be cool like ToeJam and Earl, he just was cool. So what was it that made the first Sonic game such a hit? There was the speed, of course, which was amazing at the time, but I think there's more. The controls were really tight and responsive, and the levels were varied and creative. It was a game that just shouted confidently, "I am the new best thing." It didn't have any cutscenes or any real story to speak of. Dr. Robotnik has been turning animals into robots, so kick his butt. That's about it. Sonic, of course, has only one weapon, and that's his spiky back. The player only ever uses one button in the whole game, and that's to jump. It's so simple, and yet it makes the game all the more enjoyable. It only takes about 3 seconds to learn how to play this game, but it takes quite a while to master it. It's split up into 6 worlds, each with different obstacles and challenges. Green Hill is nice and open, lots of safe places to build up speed. Marble Zone sees Sonic going in and out of ancient ruins, complete with lava and spikes. The Spring Yard has lots of things to bounce off. The idea in this world was done better in Sonic 2's Casino Nights Zone. The Labyrinth is an underwater maze. Make sure you don't run out of oxygen. Plumbers can hold their breath for extended periods underwater, but hedgehogs apparently can't. Starlight Zone has Sonic racing down a freeway in the middle of the night. And lastly, Scrap Brain Zone is Dr. Robotnik's hideout. The level design is good, but it got better with the sequels. In hindsight, the levels are pretty repetitive, and I didn't find any of it really challenging. The good thing about Sonic is as long as you have at least one ring, you're not going to die when you get hit by something, which is good because I tend to get hit a lot. While the little blue hedgehog definitely got better with age, and then got much worse, this is undoubtedly one of the Mega Drive's star games, and showed that Sega could play with the big boys. When Rare first unveiled their new beat-em-up, the initial reaction was scorn. Ninja Turtles rip-off much? As it turns out, Rare actually made a pretty cool game, once you accepted it for what it was. There's 3 Battletoads in the team, but one of them has been taken by the evil Dark Queen, so the other 2 go on a desperate rescue mission to save both their brother and the token super hot princess. As far as the gameplay goes, it's still the same template as Double Dragon, Final Fight, Golden Axe, Street Gangs, and the millions of others that were around at the time. But what Rare did do was mix up the action so that each level had specific challenges, and some weren't beat-em-ups at all, like the infamous racing stage in level 3, which, by the way, is so unbelievably evil, a lot of people probably gave up on the game right there. This is Battletoads' greatest weakness. A challenge is a good thing, but this game borders on sadistic. Thankfully there's warps to be found, but that still doesn't make the game remotely achievable. This is a game that wants you to fail, over and over again. I'm surprised they even bothered putting an ending in this game, because you have to be practically a robot to reach it. Battletoads looks fantastic, and it's mostly good fun. If you're up for a challenge, I'd say it probably stands. But if you're turned off by really unfair level design, forget it. What could I possibly say about one of the most celebrated games in history? A game that, 23 years after its original Japanese release, is still as fun to play as it was back then. A sequel that improved on its pedigree 100 times over. What could I say? Well, not much. Everyone's played Super Mario 3. If you haven't, well, what's wrong with you? Stop watching this and play it, now! This was the first video game I ever actually owned. I got it for my birthday about half a year after getting my Nintendo. I think my reaction when I unwrapped it was something a little bit like this. So, apparently the Mushroom Kingdom, where the first Super Mario Bros. Was set, is surrounded by 7 other kingdoms, making up the wider country known as the Mushroom Land. The other kingdoms are the Grassland, the Desert Land, the Water Land, the Giant Land, the Skyland, the Iceland, and the Pipeland. Each of these lands has its own king, and Bowser, for some reason unknown, has stolen a magic wand from each king and used it to turn the kings into animals. So Mario's quest is to hunt down Bowser's children and turn the kings back to normal. Hey, so the princess doesn't need rescuing in this one. That's a nice change. Oh, wait, spoke too soon. Oh well, all in a day's work for a heroic plumber, hey? Mario still has the mushrooms, fire flowers and stars that he used to have, but now he also has some new suits to play with, the main one being the raccoon suit. I can remember being initially confused about this. They wanted Mario to fly. Surely you could have given him a bird suit, or an insect suit, or a butterfly suit perhaps, but a raccoon? I guess someone forgot to tell Miyamoto-san that raccoons don't fly. I understand though, in Japan the tanuki raccoons are mythical creatures with magical powers, and that's where this idea came from. Anyway, it adds to the insane quality of the game. In the future, of course, Mario would use a cape, bunny ears, a winged cap, a bee suit, and a helicopter helmet to take to the skies. But here, he turns into a raccoon. He'll also find a frog suit for super fast swimming, a full tanuki suit that can turn him into a statue, and eventually the Hammer Brothers suit, which is really cool. What it lacks in accuracy, it makes up for in power. Those hammers can kill boos and thwomps. The impact of having a map screen in the game can't be understated. It gives you a real sense of progression. You feel like you can tackle things at your own pace, and if you want to, some levels can be ignored completely. There's a cool inventory system as well, but if you're like me and you plan on playing the game from start to finish and you've had lots of practice at it, the 28 inventory slots will get full pretty quick. In amongst the normal levels are fortresses. The fortress boss, Boom Boom, has got to be one of the most pathetic bosses in a Mario game ever. He's a joke, really, and he just keeps coming back for more. Mario 3 is a massive game. To go from World 1 to World 8 in one sitting will take hours. And back then you had to do it in one sitting because there was no save feature. Thank goodness for the warp whistles then. Oh, and don't forget, if you use a warp whistle while you're on the warp island, you can go straight to World 8. This game is so chock full of secrets, and when it was released there was no internet to spoil everything. The only way you could find the secrets was either by experimenting yourself, hearing from someone else, or reading it in a magazine. It seemed like there was always something new to be discovered right under your nose. Well, there's no doubt about it, this is, by far and away, the greatest NES game ever. In the 23 years since its original Japanese release, that's 3 years before Australia got it by the way, the only things that have aged are the graphics and the sound. Everything else is perfect. I guess it says a lot that for a game that I've finished probably about 20,000 times, I still had an absolute ball playing through this. It's that good. In the next week, I'll be continuing on with Battletoads Frustration, and oh yay, another beat 'em up. Yay. Peace out.